Thank you, Madam Mogherini, His Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Rabbani, Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to addressing this esteemed gathering of the Friends of Afghanistan, a gathering to reaffirm our mutual commitment to see a peaceful and prosperous Afghanistan. Before I begin, I would like to thank you for your continued generous support to Afghanistan and for coming together here in Brussels today to show once again your strong commitment to the future of our people. Today, I want to tell you about a new Afghanistan, an Afghanistan that's stronger today than when the National Unity Government came to power 2 years ago. An Afghanistan that's confronting its challenges and has risen to meet them head-on. An Afghanistan that has taken the difficult decisions to move toward self-reliance. Over the past 2 years, we have been working hard to make sure Afghanistan can stand on its own 2 feet. Today, I will tell you about what we have achieved and how we plan to move our country forward toward self-reliance. Excellencies, in 2014, the newly formed National Unity Government went to London with a vision of a new Afghanistan with the strong institutions that fight corruption, respect human rights, and the rule of law. Afghan civil servants dedicated, competent, and committed to serving our country and managing our resources to benefit all our citizens. A new Afghanistan with a strong private sector that could help us grow the economy, create jobs, and build a strong domestic foundation for the future. A new Afghanistan that works with her neighbors to further mutual interest and its catalyst for economic cooperation and trade in the region. In 2015, at the senior official meeting, we made commitments that would help make this vision a reality. We said that by Brussels conference, that's today, we would increase our domestic revenue significantly. When I took over as the Minister of Finance in 2014, our revenue collection was 15% below the IMF target. We turned this around in 1 short year. In 2015, revenue collection increased by an unprecedented 22.4% compared to 2014. In 2016, however, we collected $1.7 billion in revenues in the first 8 months of the year. It means we have already met and surpassed the IMF target. What's more, we predict that we will collect more than $2.4 billion in 2016, which is 16% higher than the IMF target. After a successful 9-month IMF Staff Monitor program, on July 20th, the IMF Executive Board approved a 3-year extended credit facility to cover the reforms on fiscal management, banking, state-owned enterprises, and economic statistics. We said we would come to Brussels with a positive story about advancement of women. I believe here our actions speak louder than words. There are more women in senior government positions today than at any other time in Afghanistan's history. The Attorney General has increased the number of provinces with women prosecutors from 6 to 18. 42 female prosecutors now serve in these provinces. And elimination of violence against women units have been established in 33 provinces, and 29 provinces have dedicated violence against women prosecutors. Afghanistan has 4 female ministers, 9 female deputy ministers, 1 female governor, and female deputy attorney general. The first female deputy head of High Peace Council, 2 female Peace Council members, and 4 female ambassadors. For the first time ever, public housing ownership titles were registered in the name of the husband and the wife. We said we would reform our justice sector. You just heard from President Ghani about our work in this area, how we have replaced hundreds of judges and prosecutors, how the National Procurement Committee is holding companies who seek contracts with government to account, sending wrongdoers to face the law, and saving millions of dollars. We have also overhauled our customs to put an end to corruption. Automated systems at the Ministry of Education and Interior are helping to put an end to the problem of ghost workers. The 5 revenue-gathering ministries have submitted their anti-corruption plans, and they are working to implement them. We are serious about putting an end to corruption in our country. We said we would support our private sector. Just before we got here on the plane, we signed a $250 million contract with Bayat Power Company for a project that would bring an additional 200 megawatts to our national power grid. And also other power generation is happening. To tell you specifically what we have done, in the last 2 months, more than $1 billion private investors, they have already signed MOU with our government in different sectors. We said we would make regional cooperation a centerpiece of our economic policy. There's a lot happening in this area. On September 7, the Khawaf-Herat Railway arrived at the border with Iran. Later this month, President Ghani and his Turkmen counterpart will inaugurate the railway reaching our border with Turkmenistan, a special railway transporting goods between China and Afghanistan. Tapi and Kasa 1000 are on track. So is Chabahar port with Iran. Many have participated in this side event on regional cooperation yesterday, where you heard about our plans to work with our neighbors, and where my colleagues shared a total of 10 regional projects and our national infrastructure plan. These are historic steps in building trust and promoting peace and trade in our region. We know that meaningful growth can only happen if we work together in the region to answer regional demand with regional solutions. We said we would deliver a strategy for our country's development. In your packs today, you would have seen the Afghanistan National Peace and Development Framework. This is the next practical step in our plan to achieve self-reliance and increase the welfare of our people. It puts the budget at the heart of our policies and sets out our immediate and long-term development priorities, highlights key reforms, and outlines priority investments. The ANPDF covers 5 key areas. First, we will strengthen priority areas that drive economic growth and create jobs, including agriculture, extractives, energy, and trade and transit, with a particular focus on regional economic cooperation. We will work to strengthen our private sector and help our business people export Afghan products to regional and global market. We will work to stem the flight of capital from Afghanistan. We will work with private sector to repatriate their capital. Second, we will enable growth, improve economic governance, build a sound financial sector, speed up reforms and reduce red tape, put an end to corruption, criminality and violence, and establish the rule of law. Third, we will make strategic investments in infrastructure, human capital, and technology. We will link the development of our human capital to market demands and ensure that our national infrastructure supports the growth needs to our country. Fourth, we will focus on the delivery of basic services such as health and education and make sure that valued services are delivered equally to all Afghan men and women and children. Finally, we will make sure that Afghan citizens can trust their government that can fight corruption, enforce the law, establish peace and security, and deliver a better future to their families. This is the National Peace and Development Framework. We know that development and peace are two sides of the same coin, that one cannot be possible without the other. Afghanistan needs peace. Last week, President Ghani signed a historic peace agreement with Hizb Islami led by Mr. Hikmatyar. We hope this agreement will be the first of other agreements that will finally usher an era of peace and stability to our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, we have revitalized our national priority programs, which are the engine that will help us deliver our vision. We are presented 5 national priority programs in Brussels. The National Priority Program on Agriculture will increase productivity and household income in rural areas, help domestic agriculture products reach Afghan markets, and support exports. The Citizens' Charter improves the mechanism and quality for the delivery of services in education, health, basic rural infrastructure, and agriculture. It puts communities in charge of their own development and gives them the tool to monitor projects and progress. The National Infrastructure Plan will increase our capacity in trade and transit, help address cross-border water issues, increase the supply of energy, build digital and transport infrastructure, airports, roads, railways, fiber optic, logistics, and telecoms. The urban development NPP will turn our cities into vibrant hubs of economic growth by strengthening urban governance, improving the urban economy, upgrading the urban infrastructure, and ensuring adequate urban housing. The NPP on women's economic empowerment will invest up to $350 million over the next 5 years to increase women's mobility, improve the quality of gender statistics, and eliminate regulations that blocks women's access to credit and markets. This is our plan, a plan that puts our country on the right path so that our children don't have to look to our international partners for assistance. A plan that will build a strong domestic revenue base so our children inherit a strong economy. A plan that will make our institutions strong, free of corruption, and fit for purpose so that our children can live in peace and count on their government to deliver quality, valid services. A plan for a new Afghanistan, free of corruption, with strong institutions and a vibrant private sector. A new Afghanistan that's catalyst for peace, stability, and economic growth in the region and beyond. A new Afghanistan that's finally free of conflicts and violent extremism, where all Afghans, men and women, can enjoy the benefit of a state that's working hard for them. A new Afghanistan that's no longer looking for our international partners for extraordinary support. This is a vision for a new Afghanistan worth investing in. Excellencies, today we will show you that we are committed to working the difficult decisions that will help our country reach its destination, which is self-reliance. We are hard at work and we are making changes to our institutions so that they are better prepared to implement the vision of this framework. The High Council on Reforms, headed by President, is providing high-level support to help our institutions implement reform agenda. President Ghani already told you about our challenges in the first effort to implement the World Bank Capacity Building for Results program. But we are committed to to making CBR work in our institutions. We have learned lessons from our earlier efforts, and we are working to streamline our administrative processes to make sure that CBR is used to deliver the best results that will provide the most appropriate and best available capacity in every state institution. We are downsizing and making our institution work better and responsive. I started with my own ministry, where we have capped the number of staff of 8,000 with an eye toward reduce the number to 5,000 in the next 5 years. Our public financial reform program is working to make sure our budget drive our policies, to make sure our institutions are delivering and accountable, and to increase the rate of budget execution. We have convened a group made of some 20 prominent businessmen to act as an advisory committee to the High Economic Council. This committee will be convened on a quarterly basis and will play an important policy role in bringing a perspective for the private sector into our policy and budget planning. We are working to root out corruption and foster a generation of civil servants who are committed to the future of my country. We hope that each and every one of them becomes an agent of change in the new Afghanistan. We believe that our strategy will reduce Afghanistan dependency on external support. Our hope is to see the day when Afghanistan can stand on its 2 feet. But until that day comes, we must look to you, our international partners, for your generous support, which we are grateful so far that you have been supporting us. We are also asking that you consider new development partnership with more flexibility. 8 modalities such as the US-funded new development partnership and state-building contract, which I signed with our EU partner here in Brussels yesterday, or great models for new aid with conditionality, can hold us accountable and also help us work with our institutions to enhance their performance. We need your help to overcome the legacy of fragmentation and distortion that has plagued our efforts to develop our institutions and to implement policies effectively. Aid with conditionality will help foster confidence that more flexible support will be matched by increased accountability and improved performance. We went to London with a vision. Today here in Brussels, we are showing you practical steps we have taken to take this vision a reality. We have brought with us credible, realistic, and transparent plans that highlight the many opportunities and numerous challenges that they lay ahead for the new Afghanistan. We know that we have to work hard and make hard choices. The National Development Framework articulates our commitment to make those hard choices for the benefit of our children and their children. Today, in Brussels, we will reaffirm our commitment to one another for the next 4 years. But this is not the whole story. Today, we will reaffirm our commitment to making Afghanistan a better place for all Afghans. And we will reaffirm our commitment to the common vision that set us off on the journey of 15 years ago. I'm confident that hard work, a strong commitment, and your continued partnership together, we can make Afghanistan a success story. I would like to thank you on behalf of Afghan people for your extraordinary support, and I want to give a special thank to Madam Mogherini, to her team, and also to EU for hosting such a landmark conference. Thank you very much.